Babes, if you thought you knew what emotional damage looked like, wait until we talk about that photo booth scene.
Oh my gosh, literally.
Like, I am literally unwell. I am still shaking. The chaos of off-campus episodes 5 and 6 has absolutely rewired my brain chemistry.
I mean, I don't know if I will ever mentally recover from the sheer, unadulterated mess of it all.
Babes, welcome back. We love you. We see you. And babes, it's almost the weekend, so cheers to you, babes.
Cheers to surviving, honestly.
Oh.
Cheers to the absolute emotional roller coaster we just witnessed.
Seriously. And for the Snark squad, babes, we brought out the ninja slush tonight and made frozen strawberry margaritas.
We absolutely did.
And babes, these drinks are giving Barbie girl energy.
They really, truly are. Like, I feel like you should be wearing rollerblades right now.
Yes, or like visor hats, just cruising down the boardwalk in Malibu. There is just this undeniable power that comes with holding a frozen beverage that perfectly matches your aesthetic.
Right. It's weaponized sugar and tequila. And it just fundamentally works.
It instantly heals emotional damage. Like, I took 2 sips of this pink slush, and suddenly my credit card debt doesn't exist.
It's completely vanished.
My ex is just a foggy memory, and I am mentally ready to close on a beachfront property. I don't care what anyone says, my nervous system is entirely reset right now.
Well, it's the icy chill, right? It just numbs the existential dread. But I will admit, holding this giant pink drink makes me feel incredibly powerful.
Right, like way too powerful.
I feel like a glamorous housewife guarding very dark, very expensive secrets. Like, I know exactly who embezzled the country club funds, but my lip gloss is popping, so I am absolutely not saying a word.
Exactly that. It's giving pure Malibu beach party delusion, and I am fully here for it. Like, the Ninja Slush Machine fundamentally changed our personalities tonight.
Oh, 100%.
I'm already emotionally oversharing after 2 sips. I am ready to confess all my sins to the Snark Squad.
Holding matching pink drinks is literally like holding a weapon of mass delusional power. We are vibrating on pure, unadulterated vibes and strawberry puree.
And yes, babes, for anyone wondering, we absolutely both wore pink tonight.
Obviously.
Because honestly, pink is the official color of the Snark Squad. And, babes, until we get merch, we need to represent.
We so desperately need merch. Like those velour tracksuits from the early 2000s.
Oh my God, yes.
But in neon pink with just, like, delusional written across the back in rhinestones.
I am designing those in my head right now.
Yeah.
But seriously, the psychological importance of color themes is so real.
It really is.
Pink just automatically feels so iconic, but deeply chaotic at the same time. It's not a passive color.
No, it says, I am fun, I am flirty, and I might absolutely ruin your life and drain your bank account if you cross me.
Exactly. It's a bright, flashing warning label completely masked as a cute aesthetic.
It is the color of organized chaos, which, quite frankly, perfectly transitions into the vibe of tonight.
Honestly, this episode hit a little hard because, babes, we can relate to chaotic parents.
We truly deeply can.
Both of our moms are narcissists.
The absolute loudest truth ever spoken on this show. If there's one thing we intimately understand, it is the gravitational pull of a narcissistic mother.
It's so real. Like, watching the family dynamics in these episodes, I was literally having physiological flashbacks. Like, my body remembered the exact stress hormones of my childhood.
I was doing deep breathing exercises on the couch.
Right. Like, I don't think I ever told you this, but do you remember when I got the lead in the school play in 8th grade?
I vaguely remember you mentioning a play, yeah.
I was so proud. I practiced my lines for months. And my mom spent the entire opening night complaining to the other parents that the stage lighting was completely washing out her complexion.
Stop it. She was in the audience. The stage lights weren't even on her.
I know. But the ambient glow from the stage was apparently entirely wrong for her skin tone. She wore a white sequin gown to a middle school production and made my literal theatrical debut entirely about her inability to find the right contour shade.
That is legendary narcissism.
And the guilt trips. If I didn't text her back within 4 minutes, she would leave me these agonizing voicemails sounding like she was literally on her deathbed.
Right. Whispering about how she suffers alone.
Exactly. I am still emotionally unpacking these memories in therapy. Every Tuesday at 4 p.m., my therapist just takes a deep breath, sighs, and opens a completely blank notebook.
A fresh notebook just for the school play incident alone, I'm sure. It is wild how universal that specific brand of maternal chaos is.
How do you even deal with it?
Well, my coping mechanism, as you well know, is just pure, unfiltered sarcasm. because if I laugh at it, it can't destroy me.
Totally.
My mother's absolute favorite hobby was making passive-aggressive remarks about my appearance, but disguised as helpful advice.
Oh, the worst kind.
I would come downstairs for Thanksgiving dinner feeling great, and she would do this slow, agonizing tilt of her head, sigh heavily, and say, "Oh, you're wearing that. How brave of you to embrace comfort over style on a holiday."
Oh, the classic brave insult. That is a surgically precise insult.
It cuts right to the bone, but, it built character. And an incredibly thick skin. I just want to ask, though, are you actually over the white sequin gown incident, or are you just heavily masking the trauma with that giant pink frozen margarita?
Oh, I am absolutely masking it. 100%.
I knew it.
The tequila is doing the heavy lifting tonight, babe. I am one minor inconvenience away from a total spiral. Which brings me perfectly to our next coping mechanism food.
Oh, thank goodness.
Considering we are fully in our Barbie era tonight, we are currently snacking on crab stuffed salmon. And babes, this is literally god-tier food.
It really, truly is. I feel wildly sophisticated right now.
There is something about salmon, especially stuffed with other, even more expensive seafood, that just screams like, I have my life completely together.
Right, even if I am currently trying to eat it elegantly with a plastic fork while wearing a pink tracksuit.
Feeling rich after eating seafood is a universal experience. It's the ultimate treat-yourself meal. It alters your brain chemistry.
It definitely does.
Right.
Like, if you had to rank your top comfort foods right now, where does this sit?
Oh, crab stuffed salmon is definitively in my top 3. Along with, like, a really decadent, wildly expensive truffle mac and cheese.
Oh, a truffle mac and cheese is absolute elite tier. I would also put a perfectly seared, dry-aged ribeye up there.
Yes. But you know what this incredibly fancy food makes me think of?
What?
It highlights the terrifying contrast to what we used to eat in university. Like, what was our ultimate struggle meal back in the day?
Oh my gosh, we were fighting for our lives. The pasta survival eras.
Babes, I would make a massive box of generic spaghetti, completely drain the water, melt a single sad slice of American cheese over it in the microwave, and call it cacio e pepe.
That is deeply upsetting culinary trauma.
I was surviving on pure sodium and sheer delusion.
But I cannot judge because my freezer combinations defied the laws of nature. I would take whatever freezer-burned vegetables were on sale, mix them with a crushed-up brick of instant ramen, and wash it down with cheap, acidic boxed wine.
The cheap wine nights. It is a genuine medical miracle that we made it to graduation with functioning livers.
We built our emotional immune systems on instant noodles and absolute chaos.
We really did. Okay, babes, enough spiraling because we need to get into this episode. We have a massive amount of ground to cover.
Yes, the emotional terrain of these 2 episodes is incredibly dense. Let's dive into Episode 5, The Cold Turkey.
I am practically vibrating out of my seat. Okay, so we pick up right where the tension left off in Episode 4. Hannah and Garrett are finally getting together.
Finally.
They have that incredible, breath-stealing kiss at the ice rink up in the dark announcer's box, and Garrett just lays it all completely out there.
He does. He stops playing games entirely.
He confesses point blank that he doesn't want to just be friends anymore. It was so romantic.
Right. It's a massive shift. He says, very firmly, no more Justin. And Hannah counters with, no more sexy Snapchats.
The official end of the fake dating deals. They are entering a genuine relationship, and there are no more hidden agendas.
Which is great, in theory.
And then we are blessed with the sexy montage. Babes, this montage was everything I ever wanted.
It was very domestic.
Watching Dirty Dancing together on the couch, her making her Nana's famous lasagna for him, just pure, unfiltered domestic bliss. But the peak for me was the Liquid VV commercial.
Oh, the brand deal shoot. That was hilarious.
Garrett is supposed to be acting professionally alongside Logan, doing athletic hockey drills, but he literally cannot break his focus. He cannot take his eyes off Hannah.
He was completely unprofessional.
He was swooning. Every time he looked at her, his entire face softened. He is so down bad for her. It was adorable seeing this tough hockey captain turn into an absolute puddle.
It was cute. But then, of course, because this show refuses to let us know peace,
yeah,
we get the Kirsten moment.
Oh my God, yes.
Hannah's mom FaceTimes her, literally during an orgasm.
The timing was impeccable. It was a masterclass in cringe comedy. You cannot look away from the horror of that ringing phone.
Though, as the resident cynic, I do feel ethically obligated to point out how incredibly, terrifyingly fast they are moving.
Why do you have to be so shady?
I'm just being analytically realistic. They went from orchestrating a fake dating scream to acting like a married couple sharing a mortgage in the span of a few weeks.
Let them have their honeymoon phase. They have been through so much angst. Let them bake lasagna.
When a relationship moves that fast, built on intense trauma, they are building a penthouse on top of a sinkhole. It feels like they're actively setting themselves up for a devastating crash.
I hate that you might be right, but I refuse to accept it right now. The tequila says they are fine.
The tequila is lying to you.
Well, reality does start creeping in with the Thanksgiving holiday plans. Hannah decides she isn't going home, probably dodging her mom after the FaceTime incident, and Garrett gets a manipulative invite from his estranged dad, Phil.
Right. And meanwhile, back at the off-campus house, Tucker is stepping up to host Friendsgiving for the strays.
And Tucker goes full Gordon Ramsay.
He had a literal clipboard.
He was experiencing top chef-level vascular stress over 25 pounds of raw poultry. He had an Excel spreadsheet. It was so funny watching him try to wrangle these chaotic hockey players.
It highlights his role perfectly. Tucker is that specific friend who tries to plan a classy Napa Valley wine tasting trip while literally everyone else just wants cheap tequila shots at a sticky dive bar.
Exactly. He is desperately trying to elevate the group, and they are aggressively resisting. Unexpected people keep showing up, ruining his head count.
And then the undeniable tragedy strikes. In all his stress, he forgot to pat the bird dry.
The cardinal rule.
Any amateur knows this. Moisture and violently hot oil do not mix. It's basic physics.
And the result was spectacular. The turkey literally explodes in the deep fryer, a massive fireball in the backyard.
Devastating for his ego.
But so funny, and I loved their solution. Instead of crying about it, they take the burnt, rock-hard chunks out onto the frozen pond and start playing turkey hockey with it.
It was a beautiful, chaotic metaphor for chosen family, taking an exploded expectation and turning it into a game. You control who you play hockey with in the ashes.
That is so poetic for a frozen turkey chunk.
Thank you. But it perfectly contrasts with the deeply painful biological family drama happening with Logan and Jules.
Oh, that transition was incredibly heavy. We find out their biological mom is currently in a live-in rehab facility over Thanksgiving.
Right.
And Jules desperately wants to go see her. She even steals Tucker's fancy marshmallows from the kitchen to bring to her mom because of some childhood tradition.
And Logan sets a very hard, uncompromising boundary. He flat out refuses to go to the facility.
He explicitly blames his mother's addiction for ruining their childhood. He doesn't want to engage at all.
And he refuses to pretend everything is fine just because it's a holiday.
It made me so incredibly emotional for Jules, though. She just wants her mom. She wants to believe her mom is actually getting better this time.
I understand why you feel that emotional resonance for Jules, but I have to fiercely defend Logan's psychological stance here.
I mean, I get it, but it's sad.
Logan has every fundamental right to cut off a toxic family member. We cannot villainize his anger or his boundaries. Just because someone gave birth to you does not mean you are morally obligated to subject your nervous system to their destructive patterns.
That's a really fair point. He did step up and take care of Jules a lot when they were younger.
Exactly. He is fiercely protecting his own peace and mental stability, and I deeply respect that.
But he does eventually relent. He shows up at the rehab center later with a bag of tacos for them. He swallows his pride to support his sister.
Yes, but let's be very clear about the mechanism of his choice. He compromised for his sister, not for his mother.
Right.
He brought food because Jules needed him, not because his mother earned his presence. He is still maintaining his internal boundary.
Speaking of toxic parents and absolute chaos, we have to talk about the Thanksgiving dinner from hell. Garrett and Hannah making the long, tense drive to Phil's house.
The tension inside that car was palpable. You could cut it with a knife.
But I love that they established a safe word system before they even walked in. 2 hand squeezes means they leave immediately, no questions asked.
Which was incredibly smart. She recognized that house was a psychological minefield.
They get there, and Phil is doing this unsettling, I'm a changed man act. He introduces his new fiancée, Cindy, who seems incredibly timid.
And the house.
Yeah.
The architecture of that house is a literal shrine to Phil Graham's ego.
There is a life-size cardboard cutout of Phil in Garrett's childhood bedroom.
Phil is the ultimate malignant narcissist. The absolute delusion required to place a promotional cutout of yourself inside your own child's bedroom.
It's sick.
It silently screams that Garrett's entire existence is merely an extension of Phil's legacy. He doesn't see Garrett as a human being.
It made my skin crawl. And Phil is trying to play nice at the table, but you can feel the vibrating threat in the room, and then the horrific turning point.
Yes.
They all sit down for grace. Cindy reaches to hold Garrett's hand, and her sweater sleeve rides up,
revealing deep, dark, multicolored purple bruises wrapping around her wrist and forearm. the undeniable signature of physical restraint.
And the moment Garrett sees them, he instantly has a massive PTSD flashback to his own abuse. You can literally see the panic attack wash over his face.
The color completely drains from him.
He reaches under the table and squeezes Hannah's hand twice. The safe word.
The way they handled that moment was incredibly tense. I want to explain exactly why this happens, because PTSD is widely misunderstood.
Yeah, please do.
When Garrett sees those bruises, his brain's amygdala essentially hijacks his nervous system. His body is physiologically reacting as if his father is about to strike him right there at the table.
Wow.
He isn't just remembering the terror. His body is actively reliving the exact chemical terror of the original childhood trauma. He's completely paralyzed.
And that is exactly why Hannah's save was so unbelievably brilliant. She didn't hesitate.
Not for a second.
She instantly reads the room, feels the squeezes, and immediately fakes being violently, uncontrollably ill. She knocks over a glass and creates a massive scene so they have an ironclad excuse to bolt.
It was top-tier emotional crisis management. Most people would panic or ask, "Are you okay?" Which only draws attention.
Right. Which would be terrible with Phil sitting right there.
Hannah, handling Garrett's trigger, was like a master bomb technician. She didn't ask why the bomb was ticking. She didn't try to negotiate with the bomb maker. She just faked the sickness, snipped the wire, and got them out of the blast radius.
That is the perfect way to describe it. But the tension doesn't end there, because before they pull out, Cindy comes rushing out with their coats.
And Garrett drops all pretense.
He has tears in his eyes, and he just looks at her and tells her to run. He warns her that Phil is sick, fundamentally violent, and that it isn't going to get better.
A devastating exchange. Because Cindy gives the classic defense mechanism. It's complicated.
My heart broke for her.
And Garrett knows exactly how that specific cycle of violence works. He knows the complicated defense is just a shield.
Which directly leads to that emotionally devastating car ride home. Garrett finally breaks. He has a full sobbing breakdown while Hannah is driving.
It was intense.
He confesses the darkest secret of his life, that he was physically abused too, not just his mom. And he carries this crushing guilt over not being able to protect his mom when he was a little kid.
Which is such a tragically common response for children raised in abusive households. From an evolutionary standpoint, believing I am bad, it is my fault, is psychologically safer than believing the adult keeping you alive is a dangerous monster.
That is so sad.
If the child internalizes the blame, they maintain an illusion of control. They think, if I can just be stronger, I can stop the abuse.
Garrett is still operating on that childhood survival software.
I was weeping on my couch, and Hannah was just incredible. She didn't try to fix it. She didn't offer toxic positivity. She just confirmed over and over that he is nothing like his father. It was a profoundly intimate scene. It shifted them permanently from the honeymoon phase directly into the trenches together.
Totally. So the episode ends on a slightly lighter but incredibly chaotic cliffhanger.
The FaceTime call.
Yes. The Friendsgiving crew decides to FaceTime Garrett and Hannah from the bar, and they patch in Dean, who is supposedly on a solo road trip.
But Dean answers the phone, and he is fully shirtless, lounging in bed in a massive, wildly expensive New York penthouse.
And as the camera pans, it reveals Allie hiding in the background, fully in her underwear, trying to dodge the frame.
I spiraled. I literally yelled at my television screen, "How long has this been going on right under our noses?"
Which brings us perfectly and desperately into episode 6, The Breakaway, because we needed answers immediately.
My heart was racing. The show brilliantly rewinds the clock for us at the start of episode 6, taking us back to episode 3 to show us how this secret era started.
So, remember the party in episode 3? Dean brings 2 random girls back to the frat house, trips over the couch in the dark, and literally lands his entire body weight on a sleeping Allie.
The meet cute from absolute hell. A nightmare scenario for the nervous system.
It really was. But they end up out on the chilly porch, smoking a blunt together, and Dean actually gives surprisingly profound advice.
He really does.
Allie is completely spiraling about her breakup with Sean, and Dean just looks at her and says, "People who care about you will understand, and if they don't, they're not your people."
It was a shocking moment of emotional intelligence from the resident, unapologetic playboy. You could see it completely disarm Allie.
Exactly. So she puts his number in her phone as the do not call contact, but after Drunk Shakespeare, she gets buzzed, feels lonely, and calls him. And then we get the secret sex montage.
The absolute mind-boggling logistics of their hookups, hiding in the cramped frat house bathtub with Winston the cat staring at them.
And the pink dildo. We cannot forget Winston dragging the pink dildo into the bathroom.
The pink dildo will forever be etched into my memory. But worse than that was the deeply, profoundly unsanitary hookup over the commercial ice machine at Malone's bar.
Ooh, yes! The health code violations. I am literally never getting ice in a mixed drink at a dive bar ever again.
Same.
But honestly, babe, stepping back from the comedy of it, I think Allie is being so incredibly messy here.
Yep.
She is actively ruining her life.
You think so?
Yes, she is complicating her entire friend group dynamic, lying to Hannah, and using Dean as a human wrecking ball.
See, I completely fundamentally disagree with you on this. I actually love this for her.
Wait, really?
Yes. I love the shady, unapologetic hoe-phase energy she is radiating. Look at the context.
Yeah.
She has been trapped in a suffocating relationship with Sean for years.
Okay, that's true.
She finally breaks free, and she is exploring her sexuality and independence with a guy who explicitly stated he only wants fun. Let the girl live her messy 20s.
But she's lying to Hannah. She is lying to her absolute best friend. If you're going to have a hoe phase, own it. Don't skulk around ice machines.
She's just finding her footing.
Well, anyway, we catch up to the present timeline, the road trip. Bo and Allie are in the back seat, aggressively bonding over Little Shop of Horrors and belting out show tunes, while Dean visibly suffers in the driver's seat.
A fantastic comedic palate cleanser.
And then they arrive at the Manhattan penthouse. They are playing strip chess, drinking outrageously expensive wine, and Dean actually drops the cool guy mask. He looks at her and says, "I get to be here with you."
It was so deeply romantic.
I melted. But the second he says it, his frat friends call, and Allie immediately has a massive panic attack. She suddenly realizes she officially broke up with Sean less than 48 hours ago and feels like a terrible person.
Here is my psychological hot take on that panic attack.
Yeah.
I think Allie is entirely weaponizing her own guilt to avoid actual intimacy with Dean.
Oh, interesting.
The exact second Dean showed a genuine, unscripted emotion, her avoidant attachment style flared up. She used the ghost of Sean as a convenient shield to run away because she is terrified of falling for the roller coaster guy.
Okay, I see the logic in that avoidant attachment theory, but I also strongly think Dean is pushing way too hard, way too fast.
He definitely is pushing.
He claims he only wants casual, but he's taking her to his family's multi-million-dollar penthouse and playing intimate games of strip chess overlooking the Manhattan skyline. That is sending massive, neon-flashing mixed signals, babes.
That is a very fair point. His actions absolutely do not match his stated intentions. He is catching profound feelings faster than his ego is willing to admit.
Meanwhile, to contrast that absolute mess, we get this incredibly sweet, grounded moment with Hannah and Garrett. Hannah is playing the new song she is working on with Justin.
And Garrett, in his aggressively blunt way, flat out tells her the lyrics completely suck.
Because she wrote those lyrics months ago, back when she had a crush on Justin.
Exactly.
The lyrics lack authenticity now.
Exactly. She realizes the song is a lie.
And then in the middle of this critique, the I love you exchange happens. It was so incredibly casual, so unscripted, but so deeply real.
Garrett's bluntness is actually his truest love language. He doesn't sugarcoat the world for her, but he is fiercely loyal. He loves her because of who she is.
It's a very secure brand of romance. But the warm and fuzzy feelings do not last. We have the massive Hurricanes charity drama.
Here we go.
Logan pulls Garrett aside and asks him to leverage his relationship with Phil to secure a massive financial donation for the youth hockey program.
And Garrett just shuts down and says, it's complicated.
So Logan, being relentlessly goal-oriented, goes completely behind his back and asks Phil for the money directly.
A massively messy, highly controversial, utilitarian move.
I am so heated about this. I completely unequivocally side with Garrett on this. Logan crossed a massive, unforgivable boundary. You do not contact someone's estranged, abusive father.
See, analytically, removing the emotion, I actually side with Logan on this one.
Are you kidding me?
Hear me out. Logan does not know about the physical abuse. That is a crucial piece of missing information. To Logan's knowledge, Garrett is just being a stubborn, rich kid dragging his feet on asking his dad for money that could literally change poor kids' lives.
But still.
Logan grew up in poverty. That program saved him. He is operating solely on the information he has, which is that Garrett is holding a petty grudge. From a utilitarian standpoint, the needs of the many outweigh Garrett's pride.
Ugh, the miscommunication trope is literally killing me. Just use your words and tell him the truth, Garrett. If he had just explained the abuse, Logan would have backed off instantly.
Exactly. But because Garrett guards his trauma, Logan makes a catastrophic error.
So all of this tension violently blows up at the Malone's fundraiser event. Dean is the MC, and he is publicly flirting with Allie by playing Dirty Little Secret and calling her Alley Cat into the microphone for the entire bar to hear.
Truly unhinged, deeply reckless behavior. I loved every single second of it.
It was so bold. And Allie gets visibly jealous of the Puck Bunnies flirting with Dean, which directly leads to their incredibly heated photo booth hookup where literally anyone could have walked in.
The sheer adrenaline of that scene.
And meanwhile, Hannah finally confronts Justin. She tells him the song isn't working, leading to an official friendship collaboration breakup.
Good riddance. Justin has massive terminal main character syndrome. He genuinely thinks his artistic vision is the only one that holds any merit. She outgrew him.
So true. But babes, then we get the devastating double gut punch cliffhanger. Allie is waiting in her dorm room in lingerie for Dean, but Hannah suddenly texts that she needs to hang out.
So Allie panics and kicks Dean out into the hallway.
But Dean, in his haste, leaves his distinctive jacket on her bed. And then the absolute worst timing ever. Sean shows up to try and win Allie back, sees Dean's jacket, and completely shames Allie.
He looks at her and says, "You really can't be alone, can you?" Brutal and absolutely devastating deployment of her deepest insecurity right to her face.
I was gasping, but that's not even the worst part. The final scene, it is going to haunt me.
It was so heavy.
Hannah is closing up the bar, feeling safe in her new life. She overhears a group of the opposing hockey guys talking about St. Anthony's new Star Center, a transfer student named Aaron Delaney.
The pieces instantly clicked together. The tectonic plates of her trauma just shifted violently under her feet.
The horrific reveal that her rapist, the man who destroyed her sense of safety, is Garrett's opponent in the upcoming rivalry game. The episode ends with Hannah running home in the dark, having a full-blown panic attack on the sidewalk.
I was literally holding my breath.
I am so deeply emotionally distraught for her. She finally found a safe harbor, and the monster from her past just kicked the door down.
It is an incredibly dark turn. And analytically, looking ahead, this specific plot point is going to act as a pressure cooker. It is going to force all of Garrett's deeply buried, volatile anger issues straight to the surface. He is going to be out there on the ice in a physical contact sport, face-to-face with the man who violated the woman he loves. He's a protector with unchecked rage issues. It's not going to be a hockey game. It is going to be an absolute bloodbath.
I am so scared for them. I genuinely don't know how they survive this without someone ending up in jail. Okay, we need a breather. My heart rate is way too high. Let's move into our segments to process this chaos.
We definitely need the distraction.
Segment 1. Most likely to ruin the group chat. Debate who would absolutely destroy the friend group with one reckless decision.
I am ready. Defend your thesis.
My pitch is unequivocally Logan. Going completely behind Garrett's back to contact his estranged, abusive father without asking probing questions is a nuclear group chat ruining decision. You do not mess with someone's family trauma.
Okay, I hear your passion, but my pitch is Dean.
Really, Dean?
Yes, and here's why. Hooking up with your literal teammate's girlfriend's best friend and actively hiding it is the definition of a ticking time bomb. Dean knows that when this blows up, it is going to create a massive loyalty divide.
That is true. The hockey boys will have to choose sides.
Exactly. He is actively prioritizing a casual hookup over the stability of his entire chosen family. That is textbook group chat destruction.
Okay, that is incredibly fair. The fallout is going to be unimaginably messy. All right, segment 2. Biggest main character delusion. Discuss who thinks the world revolves around them and whether we secretly respect the confidence.
Who is your absolute undeniable pick?
Phil Graham. Period. End of sentence. The sheer, terrifying delusion required to think that a single Thanksgiving dinner invitation magically erases years of sustained, violent domestic abuse.
He's a psychological predator.
The absolute audacity to sit at the head of a table and act like a benevolent patriarch while your new fiancé is sporting fresh bruises. I have absolute zero respect for his confidence.
I completely agree. Absolutely zero respect for Phil. My pitch, however, on a slightly lighter note, is Allie.
Allie! I love that.
Allie genuinely believes that her secret sex life with Dean is this massive, world-ending, catastrophic secret. She is spiraling in that penthouse, thinking she's the ultimate villain of the century.
Right, like she committed a crime.
Meanwhile, literally everyone else around her is entirely too busy surviving their own massive trauma to care about who she is kissing. Hannah is dealing with the return of her literal rapist. Tucker is fighting a war with a deep fryer, and Allie is weeping into a silk pillowcase.
The axis of the earth has shifted for her.
But I have to admit, I secretly respect her dramatic flair. She is starring in her own personal tragic opera.
She is the star of her own soap opera. Let her have her drama.
Segment 3. Things that would destroy us in university. Compare the episode drama to our own college experiences.
Oh, God. This requires digging into the archives.
My pitch is simple but devastating. Being caught hiding in a filthy frat house bathtub, completely clothed but holding a pink vibrator, while a guy you barely know is walking around the bathroom right next to you.
The stress of that moment. If I were Allie, I would have spontaneously combusted out of pure shame. I would have quietly dropped out of university the next morning and moved to a remote fishing village.
It is the literal stuff of stress nightmares. It's like the dream where you show up to the final exam without pants.
Exactly.
But my pitch is a bit darker, drawing from the family themes. Having your emotionally abusive parent randomly show up at your most important extracurricular event and having them act like an absolute saint in front of your friends.
Oh, that is so manipulative.
That specific level of public gaslighting, where everyone else is whispering about how amazing your parent is while you know the terrifying truth, it makes you feel entirely crazy. That would have mentally destroyed me at 21.
It is so incredibly true that public manipulation is terrifying because it isolates you. When the abuser charms your friends, you have nowhere left to run.
Okay, silly.
Okay, final segment before we wrap up. Segment 4. Most emotionally unwell but hot.
Debate who is the biggest walking red flag while still somehow being undeniably attractive. The ultimate Snark Squad dilemma. We are drawn to red flags like moths to a flame.
My pitch is, Garrett, let's be completely brutally real. The man is a walking trauma response. He has a literal shrine to his abuser in his bedroom. He violently punches walls.
He has massive communication issues.
But his abs and the way his jaw clenches and his fierce, unwavering protectiveness over Hannah, it is deeply intoxicating. I know logically that he needs intensive therapy, but I also want him to violently defend my honor in a bar fight.
A primal attraction to the protector archetype.
Yeah.
Very valid. But my pitch is Dean.
Dean is a mess.
Dean uses meaningless sex to systematically avoid genuine human connection. He literally calls himself a roller coaster to avoid emotional accountability. He is a walking disclaimer.
He really is.
But the access to the Manhattan penthouse, the incredibly quick-witted banter, the specific soft way he looks at Allie when she isn't paying attention, he is a complete structural disaster of a human being, but he makes the disaster look absolutely irresistible.
We love a broken man we think we can fix with just our love and a good conversation. It is a genuine sickness that we suffer from.
It really is an epidemic among our demographic.
Babes, thank you so much for hanging out with us, drinking along, and surviving this massive wave of emotional damage. We are barely holding it together over here, but we deeply appreciate you tuning in.
We truly do. We need to know we aren't spiraling in a vacuum. Your comments give us life.
So we have very important questions for you. Tell us down in the comments right now, what was your absolute rock-bottom university struggle meal?
I need to know I wasn't the only one eating frozen vegetables and wine.
Are frozen margaritas elite, or are we just delusional? Is pink officially the Snark Squad color?
And please, overshare with us. What chaotic, deeply unhinged family story still haunts you at family gatherings? We need the validation.
Spill all the tea. The comments section is a safe space for messy histories. And do not forget to like this video, comment your answers, subscribe to the channel, and share the podcast with your absolute messiest bestie.
Because honestly, if you can't sit around and be unapologetically messy together, what is the point of friendship?
Exactly. Shared delusion is the strongest bond. Because honestly, babes, when the X-ray machine of your carefully planned life completely breaks down, sometimes the absolute only thing you can do to survive is grab a giant pink drink, sit with your friends, and lean entirely into the chaos.
And before we sign off, I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over until next time. Look closely at both Dean and Phil.
Okay.
They're entirely different generations, entirely different levels of morality, but they utilize the exact same tool charm. Both Dean and Phil use overwhelming charm to perfectly mask their destructive behavior.
Oh, wow.
Dean uses it to hide his deep-seated fear of true intimacy, and Phil...
Wow. I am going to be thinking about that all night. Stay messy, stay delusional, and we will see you on the Snark side.